Hello and welcome. Vic City Report, Ian here. Special Wednesday edition, of course. What the fuck? I'm going to be honest, I didn't actually want to do this episode, but I'm worried. The reason I started all this, the reason I do all this is because I really care about our city. I may not agree with our current mayor and council, but do I think they're bad people? No. Do I think they don't care? No. Do I think they are trying to harm our city? With the exception of a few of them, no. But yeah, what worries me is, like, I encourage everyone here, I'm like, watch city council meetings. Watch city council meetings, and you're all thinking, Ian, why? Why? We have you to watch them for us. Well, today I'm going to show you why. And this is something that happens every council meeting, and it's something that worries me a lot. So, like I've said, anybody can address council, and the people that speak for you are these people. And as we come up very close to a civic election, it can get scary. And I think when we look at our political landscape right now, when we look at what our world is like, of course, there's a place for passion, there's a place to care, but what you're about to see scares me. So I've got two videos I'm going to show. We'll talk about them a bit. I don't want it to be another 30 minutes of me ranting and raving. It might turn into that, but yeah. So I want to show some videos, and then we can kind of just take a little look-see at what the current climate is. So let's get right into this one.
Good evening, welcome.
Hello, good evening. Another 5 minutes for the cannabis sandwich tonight. And I have the good news for you today. Today is the month of September, which is 1 year I talk to you and you ignore me. So I think it's long enough to have a confidence that you are not good fit for Victoria. And I guess could be today my last chance, 5 minutes to talk to you. As you see, I was a success business owner on 1412 Douglas. But once we got the new mayor, a new city council, my business turned down because he didn't enforce any law, either federal or Victoria. But the cannabis have the success business already 1.5 years without license. So means like your administration create Las Vegas for criminals and cannabis in our great Victoria, which is not acceptable. So means like welcome to Victoria where the criminals prosper. We have, as you know, 42 cannabis applications in your office. You issued 13 of them, and you're still taking application for more. Another news was the last September 2017 when you informed that I'm going to shut down the person who harassed me, my business. That never happened. Then another city council, they tried to give them the license, which opposite meaning. Another city council, Mr. Isaac, sending wrong information to my supporters. Probably he didn't study Victoria bylaw at all. The third person is Mrs. Lucas, she's city council and my neighbor, just maybe 30 meters from my business. And she ignored my request as well. You see, it's just few meters away. The only person who helped me out was the MP, Member of Parliament, Mr. Rankin, to help me out to move out from this disaster to a different location. So that's why we need new mayor and new city council in 2018. Since your administration and the crimes, double, and drug users in our great Victoria, I have one question for you. Any of you holding this? Because I have. I try to help young people on the street when I'm walking, to help them out to not die, because too many dies. Another news, probably you know this, unsafe even for police officers and young people dying. You increase homeless people. You can go to see Uptown right now, it's full. Maybe tomorrow they can move to the Oak Bay, after tomorrow to Esquimalt, because they don't have place to go and they cannot afford to live. Because you increase all real estates and rentals prices double since your administration is in. You increase bike lines, but increase also potholes in Great Victoria and highways on the Pandora, right? Nice and smooth. Property taxes, wasting. They call you the waste management. And because of this, you increase stress to most Victoria residents and families living here, raising the children, parking, crimes, and parkades.
Thank you, Mr. Zmuda.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And good luck.
Good luck to you as well, sir.
In the future.
Next speaker, please, is
So, first off, I somewhat apologize for making everyone watch that. That presentation is done every week. He changes the slides out, surprisingly. Every council meeting, Mr. Zumba comes up and does that. Yeah, like where do you even start with that? I worry. Do you know what? Actually, I guess I can take this back a full couple steps. Full disclosure. I ran a failing business in Victoria. Lot fucking cooler than the bullshit deli. I'll tell you that fucking much. Right there. Motherfucker thinks he recreated the wheel with that fucking deli. So, first thing that bugs me is he's very upset about his business was in between kind of two cannabis locations. And he was running a deli. My biggest problem is how the fuck do you not make a successful business with fucking weed stores next to you? Like you're selling snacks, for Christ's sakes. So yeah, missed opportunity, I'd say, is the first one, which to me, I understand his frustrations, but what I fail to understand is how it's the city's fault. Like, yeah, the way they've handled the cannabis legislation has not been perhaps the best thing in the world. Like, he's fair to say that the city allowed illegal businesses to operate. The provincial government, the federal government, has yet to allow retail cannabis, but yet we technically have retail cannabis outlets. So that, from a regulation standpoint, it's hard to disagree. But at the same time, it's like, as a business owner, you're presented with opportunities, and you either gonna take those opportunities or you're not. And to me, for him to try and blame councillors, the mayor, and councils for his own failings in a way bothers me quite a bit. Like, since moving from the store, I've had time to reflect and time for me to realize that, like, every disadvantage, every struggle that we were faced with, in the store was actually something that was actually an opportunity that I didn't see at that time. And I've been lucky to get to take the time to reflect, to get the time to grow and mature, and I have been able to see that and know that, when presented with hardship, that there's always going to be different opportunities in there. And I find this tough because it's extremely inflammatory. Also, for fuck's sakes, man, get an editor. Like, yo, I suck at writing too. I get people to look at my shit. Like, y'alls are gonna find mistakes in what I do all the time, but I want you to tell me I made a mistake, and then we can fix it. You can talk to me in the comments. You can post the links. We can get it sorted out. This does not allow that. This is meant to be factual, and I even resent things like, I was helped by my federal MP. All Murray Rankin did was help him find a new space to lease. That should not be our politician's job. I don't want fucking Murray Rankin working to help people find business lease spaces. I want him working on making sure our federal government gives us some money for fucking affordable fucking housing, for Christ's sakes. Oh my God. So what I worry about is time being wasted. I just wasted 5 minutes of your time having to watch that. He has done that presentation 10 times in the last year. It's wasted an hour. Think about how much do we pay all the city officials that are there. We got the police chief, the fire chief, the planner, the head of engineering. We got the legal department. We've got the clerks. We've got sustainability. We got parks. All those people are getting paid to be there. Counselors are getting paid to be there. Meanwhile, Mr. Zumba here feels that he has the right to essentially complain about things that somewhat is in the city's control, but at the same time were opportunities for his business that he did not act on. It bothers me. This talk bothers me. I believe he is going to. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even giving him that time. I'll let you try and put together what I was about to say there. Yeah. So I want to start out with that one because it at least has. At least there's a personal story. He's gone through hardship. That's why he feels this way. The next speaker we're about to see possibly throws more shade than I have ever seen. And I'm a huge believer. You're going to catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. I'm just going to, fact. Politics. Think about how often you hear this. Like, people will say politics at work, politics of friendships, politics of life. What does that mean? It means fucking being fucking nice to fucking people, having empathy, listening, knowing that somebody else's experiences might just actually help you come to an understanding. Now, I've been alive 31 years. I'm just going to say, you're going to get a lot more out of life by listening to people, by hearing what they have to say, than by arguing your points, trying to find the things we agree on. If you just yell at someone, they don't fucking care. They're not going to listen. Nobody gets yelled at and listens. Nobody takes negative critical feedback well. Nobody. If you go to someone and you say, you're doing a shitty fucking job, that person's not going to feel like, oh, I wonder how I can do this job better. They're going to think, what the fuck is your problem? So, you know what? Let's just get right into this here.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm going to start on a positive note, and I hope to end on one, but I'll be frank and tell you that's pretty unlikely. First thing I'd like to say is thank you to Chris Coleman for your remarkable service to the City of Victoria, and also to you, Councillor Lucas. As you know, my name is Pamela Grant. I know most of you. I've worked with about half of you, and I'm here tonight to talk about transparency and governance. Actually, I'm here specifically to talk about the increasing lack of it from this chamber. I am going to talk about the statue because that's the latest thing. The only thing transparent about that process, Mayor Helps, was your obvious political intent You used it as a stunt to launch your campaign. That's obvious to everybody in the room. Maybe some people won't say it, but I will. To steal a line from Mary, I was amused to hear you say that 8 out of 10 people agreed with you, and it did make me wonder if you locked 8 of your staff in the room and pulled in a couple of people off the street and took poll, because we all know research and statistics aren't your strong point either. Anyway, I'm speaking tonight because I've spent about a decade chairing task force and advisory committees to the city, to this body. I have spoken in this chamber, both to council and to committee of the whole. There is a clear process for that. The mandate is given. There is always a member of council or more. They report back to this chamber or the committee on a regular basis and keep people apprised. What they do not do is drop it 2 nights before on an agenda and then push it through council. You should be ashamed for sandbagging your council, because that's what you did. You painted people into a corner. There's a couple of people that agreed with you, but it was a lousy report. It didn't contain one Indigenous voice. It didn't contain a single recommendation from the action plan from the Truth and Reconciliation Committee. And I don't know how you can call yourself either a historian or a mayor. I think you owe council and the city an apology, not the fairy tale postmodern mea culpa that was published in the Times Colonist, an actual apology. And please quit telling everybody that people think what you did was great, because we don't. I hope that you have a pencil. I was going to take notes tonight, but I forgot to bring one. Good. Sharpen it and fix up your CV, because you're going to have a new job in a couple of months. Thanks.
Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of our speakers.
What the fuck was that? So, like, first off, she's not wrong. Like, she's not wrong. Like, so, you know what? Let's 3 steps back. She's not wrong. Not wrong. At least kind of fucked up that old statute thing. You know what? She for sure posted the notification of it on her, like, election website. Like, it could not have come across more of, like, get me campaign financing. So not wrong. Not wrong. But fuck, if there's a way to not speak eloquently, pretty sure that was it. Pretty sure. Like, what was your, like, what'd she do? Would she watch Donald Trump speeches for fucking 2 hours before to get pumped up? Like, what in the name of fuck was that? Who gets up and it's like I don't even, I gotta get the word out of that. What was it, like the post-mortem mea culpa? What the fuck does that even mean? What the fuck? Like, this is why I'm worried. This is exactly why I'm worried. These are the people that are showing that they have the most passion. And I don't want it. I'm tired of it. This is my call to action. This is, you know what? This is a call that I need to hear myself. I need to stop fucking sitting at home and tuning in live to these meetings, and I need to start going to these meetings. I need to start listening more. I need to start speaking for us, and that's what I really want to do. I don't want to be the person to do it. I want everybody here that listens to do it. I love being able to sit in my socialist armchair, my armchair socialism here, and tell, you know, armchair activism here, and try and speak to this and try and get us involved. But for fuck's sakes, when that's what's happening right now. I'm not sure if everyone knows. Like, you know, I see posts on Facebook saying, like, oh my God, we need to make sure that we keep our city looking how it should. You know, fuck that. It's the same shit I'm doing. It's the same shit. Sitting in a fucking chair at home, fucking barely doing shit. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop. You know, like, part of what me trying to do all this is part of that. I want to get, it's time for us to get involved. We are the generation now. I always say, you know, I'm 30 years old. I like to think of myself as the missed generation. So I want to see 18. I want to see 18 to 25. I want to see 25 to 35. I want to see 35 to 45. I want to see 45 to 65. I want to see 65 to 80. I know that my fellow progressive residents in this city don't want this. We're busy. I know we're busy. Fuck, I know we're busy. We're working hard so we can actually live in this city. I know. I know. But we need to be the voices. We need to let the people who run for council know that they will not face personal attacks that are rooted in evil, are rooted in anger and fear and resentment. Neither of those speakers had anything positive. Neither of them provided a solution. That's something I think all the time. It's so fucking easy to tell everybody what they're doing wrong. It's really fucking hard to actually say what we should be doing. I love for this channel, for what we do here, to be talking about what we should be doing. You know, when we looked at those developments from last week, last Wednesday, like how what Arise is doing on Shelburne and on Bridge Street and through Gonzales is making this city better. Whatever the fuck is going on 3091939110 Jackson, that's fucked. Anybody who's seen that, like anybody that I know who's seen that, has been like, this is fucked. Maybe we should have our say. Maybe we should show up to that public hearing. Maybe we should have been there when that was at the design committees and even earlier on the stage. Maybe I'm part of the problem, showing things when it's too late. But you know what? I think we've got to look at some of the too lates so we can realize what we need our future to be. And you know what? I need your help. I need the people here's help. We need to email council. Like, we don't have to show up to these meetings. We just need to correspond. We need them to know that, like, hey, I care. Thanks for the work you do. You know, that's what's important. It's like, you know, they can't be right 100% of the time. I don't expect them to be. But I do expect them to make good decisions. And it's hard when the people like that are the loudest voices in the room. So I just kind of wanted to shine some light on what's probably the darker side of our city council and our public discourse right now. There was a few other speakers. I cut out 2 other talks that were both inflammatory. One was the Gonzales Community Association, basically saying that they felt the Gonzales community plan was completely wrong. But it's hard. It's like, my thoughts on Gonzales are going to be different than the thoughts of the people who already live in Gonzales. I see this from my stepfather. The people who live somewhere and have the spaces, they're much more concerned about who's going to come in than someone like myself who wishes I could live in Gonzales. And that's hard. That's hard. Those are hard voices for me to listen to. And you know, what did these 2 speakers basically say? They said, I'm going to try and get you fired. That's not really that helpful. Where were the solutions? You know, the solution can't be, no, not in my backyard. The solution needs to be, here's what I need in my backyard. And that's I think the challenge. So subscribe, like, comment, dislike if you hate me. Fucking love that too. Means it's art if you dislike it. Thank you for listening. Thanks for listening to my ranting. If anybody makes it here, what are we at? 23 minutes. You're doing good. Doing better than I am. Right on, everyone. Thank you so much. See you Sunday. See you Sunday, Wednesday, as we start to see a little bit of a regular special treat, a special on Sunday. Watch out. It's going to come in hot. You'll see.